Hello, this lesson is lesson H78. It's the last lesson that we've got within this unit. And one of the main ideas here is that using up our conserving thermal energy, or our use of thermal energy, right? The thermal energy stores come from the specifically non-renewable resources of fossil fuels. And because it is a non-renewable resource, our consumption of it is something that we should always be wary of. Now, a couple of things to help us reduce or conserve our use of fossil fuels in the form of keeping the thermal energy store where we want it and not losing it to the environment, to other sources. The first thing that we can do is insulation is really just a material to stop using heat transfer, right? Now, insulation can also reduce the amount of sound that's used or the amount of electrical current. That is being used within this. Now, if we take a look at this thermogram of the house here, it's roof and windows, right? Here we got a window, here we got a window, and all along the roof. This is showing a tremendous amount of loss of heat in the form of radiation, because that thermogram, right, using a thermogram thermometer, will allow us to see where the most radiation is being lost. So the other areas are not losing nearly as much heat as the roof and windows. Now, there's two major ways that we can lose heat to the outside. The first one is through conduction. And the second one is through radiation. Usually not convection unless we've got specifically an air leak, but conduction is through the walls, floors, roofs, and windows through the solid, and radiation is going through. It doesn't require medium, so it's going to be just done all the time. Now, there are some ways that we can specifically reduce this transfer or help with this radiation. Some ways include using carpets and curtains, carpets, and curtains. Carpets and curtains are going to be very helpful. They are really good insulators and are going to prevent both sound and heating from happening and losing thermal energy. Also, reflective foils. Reflective foils. Now, we're going to do this on the walls. And the third one here is using double glazing with the windows. Okay. Now, if we are going to use reflective foils on the walls, it's going to look something like this. Okay, and so what we've got is here during this construction project, we see this reflective foil all along the inside here. What that's going to do is it's going to reflect back those electromagnetic waves. It's going to reflect back the radiation and keep it inside the house. Now, double glazing involves using two planes of glass in the window instead of just one, and there's air in here that's much better or an even better insulator using something like argon gas, and reduces the energy transfer by conduction, because You get the energy transfer by conduction through here, and then you've got a space where there is a lot less matter, and so conduction doesn't happen through gases, and then you reach the next window pane. Now radiation can still obviously get through here because visible light, being one form of radiation, can get through a window. But sometimes you'll even see what they call triple painting, which is really just a thicker window using multiple, sometimes multiple gases, and you see this triple pane here, much more effective than just a single pane of glass. So the third one, another way that thing that we can do is just insulation. Right now, you've probably seen the pink stuff. It's just put in the cavities of the walls, and it holds little pockets of air to prevent, in order to prevent conduction from happening, as well as holding warm air inside, and that actually also acts as a barrier. Now loft insulation works similarly, but it's usually blown in and just left to sit, looks something like this. The main thing is that most of our heating comes from burning of fossil fuels, especially here in Alberta, and so because that's where most of our heat is coming from, we want to reduce the impacts. This is a non-renewable resource. It is not something that we can replenish quickly, and therefore keeping our use of these chemical stores low will help us continue on the life of those fossil fuels for many, many years to come. Okay, that is about it. Thank you for watching.